Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. It's been a hot minute since I've done one of these kinds of videos, and even longer since I did one that I was actually serious about. Um, so, a lot of people are comparing Lumity to various other Wooloo ships. It feels so weird saying Wooloo because there's also a Pokemon called Wooloo, but like we have a Pokemon mascot. Anyway, um, so people have compared them to Cachadora, which I find kind of concerning, um, as well as Marcanne, which I also find concerning. um, but there is one in particular that no one seems to be talking about, and it's kind of obvious which one that is from the title of this video, so I'm not even going to bother with that. So, first of all, there's the most obvious similarity is that, oh, hold on, sorry, let me back up. So, with some exceptions, I am going to say that Undyne is similar to Amity, and Alphys is similar to Luce. Again, there are exceptions, which I will bring up. So first of all, there's the most obvious similarity that Undyne and Amity are both lesbians, and Luce and Alphys are both bi. So that's the most obvious similarity. But there are other similarities. Like, I feel like they have a similar dynamic. Like Luce and Amity could almost be like the baby gay version of Alphys and Undyne. I don't really know how to explain that. But there is one thing in particular that I find striking. And that is the note confession that utterly failed, both for different reasons, but yeah. So for those of you who are familiar with only the Owl House or Undertale, or you're familiar with neither and clicked on this because you like my videos, then hi, welcome, thank you, I appreciate it. So anyway, I'm gonna give a brief explanation of each. So, sorry. So in Undertale, I'm starting with Undertale because it's been around longer. In the pacifist route, Undyne asks you to take a note to Alphys because, quote, Hotland sucks. And based on my personal headcanons that are kind of somewhat biology based, I don't think Undyne can even actually breathe in Hotland. But that's just my personal headcanon. So you go to Alphys. Dang it, you go to Alphys's lab in Hotland, and then you give her the message to the door. But this is the part where we realize that Undyne has something in common with Marinette Dupanchang, and you're wondering what could they possibly have in common. And that's that Undyne did not sign her note. Big mistake, oh my goodness. And Alphys thinks it's from you. And it just kind of deteriorates from there, and it's kind of funny. But things do work out in the end. So that's nice. As for what happens with Luce and Amity, there's a school dance that it has to do with keeping a monster from taking over the island. Like, whose idea was it to put teenagers in charge of that? But anyway, so at the beginning of the episode, Amity bumps into Luce, and we see this pink slip of paper. And she's very, very protective of the slip of paper. She's like, nope, grabs it. And we have no idea what's on that slip of paper. No, we have no idea, and because we're definitely not those kinds of speculative fans. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, and she keeps pulling the paper out throughout the episode. And by the end of it, towards the end of it, we find out that her worst fear was rejection. We see this shadowy version of Luce rip up the paper, and then the only part that Luce sees is will you go to Grom with me? Signed, Amity. Amity didn't make the same mistake that Undyne did, and I'm very proud of her for that. And then kind of after they defeat Grom, Amity's like, yeah, whatever, and kind of casually tosses away the paper and the other piece of the paper, and that's where we see that it was addressed to Luce. And that was where everyone lost their freaking minds. So I know, like, those aren't, like, exactly the same story, but I find it very interesting how they both had, like, these notes that they were intending to give, and it kind of went sideways one way or another. A few other interesting similarities are that Amity and Undyne are both kind of on the jock side of things, while Alphys and Luce are both nerds, weak nerd arms and all that. Also, both Luce and Alphys have kind of daydreamy type. I don't really know how to explain, but they kind of have this daydreamy thing, like, and it shows up in, they both like writing about things, like especially romance. And I don't know how to explain exactly, but they both very into shipping. And another sort of similarity is that Luce is kind of an outsider. Alphys isn't exactly an outsider, but she kind of isolates herself, which does make her an outsider, whereas both Amity and Undyne are very well known for different reasons. Amity is like from a rich family and very prestigious and powerful, while Undyne is she's a warrior, she's everybody's hero, she's etc. So those are some of the real similarities. I also noticed, and this is where the roles are going to switch, both of them, I also noticed, so there's this one point where Undyne picks up Alphys. And those of you who watch the Owl House know where this is going. And that's kind of the part where Undyne's more trickster side shows. And she throws Alphys into a trash can, but it's all in good fun. Um, she's a lizard; she can handle it. And then there's the part where Amity breaks her foot, ankle, something, and Luce picks her up and carries her, which was like weak nerd arms my ass. Anyway, so I don't know. I just noticed that as well. But yeah, I just feel like the two pairings have a lot in common. With obviously some very obvious differences. I said obviously like 5 times. But anyway, I just thought that was really interesting, especially that no one is talking about it. And like I said, the note confession especially is what I find incredibly striking about these two. So hopefully being canon is something we can add to the list of these two pairings having in common. And we'll just have to wait and see. Yep. I feel like there was something else, but it's not. Oh yeah, the inability to articulate, which is another place where Amity is more similar to Alphys. Complete inability to articulate, and then Luce is more similar to Undyne, and that they're like goes right over their heads. Like, I have no idea. But anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I certainly find this interesting. And I hope you have a nice day. Thank you for watching. I said things out of order. Don't forget that I appreciate you. Bye bye.